Welcome to today's session. Today we are going to talk about risk control strategies, how to choose the right strategy in the context of information security. Every organization faces risks and managing those risks effectively is crucial to ensuring security and continuity. These are the risk control strategies. To begin, risk control strategies are designed to manage risks by reducing either the likelihood or the impact of potential threats. There are four main strategies for risk control: risk avoidance, risk mitigation, transfer, and acceptance. We will go through each of these strategies in detail. First, we have a risk avoidance. This strategy involves completely eliminating the source of risk by avoiding the activity or situation that poses the threat. For example, a company could choose not to use outdated software that is prone to attacks. While this strategy removes the risk entirely, it can also limit the company's flexibility because avoiding risks often means avoiding potentially beneficial activities as well. The advantages for risk avoidance is completely it can remove the risk, and disadvantages are it can limit flexibility, may miss opportunities. Next is risk mitigation, which is one of the most commonly used strategies. Here, the goal is to reduce the impact or likelihood of a risk through various controls. A good example will be installing firewalls, using encryption, or implementing multi-factor authentication to protect sensitive information. While mitigating significantly reduces the risk, it doesn't eliminate it completely, and it can also be costly depending on the level of control implemented. Risk transfers involves shifting the responsibility for risk to another party. This is often done through outstanding of or insurance. For instance, purchasing cyber insurance can protect a company from the financial impact of a data breach. However, it's important to note that while financial risk is transferred, the organization is still exposed to the underlying threats. These are the advantages and disadvantages we have, which reduces financial burden in advantages, which can be costly, risk still exists. It is one of the disadvantages we have. Coming to the risk acceptance is when an organization decides to live with a certain level of risk. This strategy is typically used when the cost of mitigating a risk is higher than the potential damage. For example, a company might accept the risk of minor software bugs that don't critically impact business operations. This approach makes sense when the risk is low and the cost of addressing it outweighs the benefits. In advantages comes under no additional cost. Coming for the disadvantages, organization remains exposed to risk. Selecting a risk control strategy. Now, how do we choose the right strategy? Selecting a risk control strategy involves several steps. Risk assessment. First, you need to identify and evaluate the risk. Cost benefit analysis, weigh the cost of controls versus benefits. In the risk appetite, define the organization tolerance for risk. In control effectiveness, it can assess how well each control reduces the risk. In feasibility, consider the practicalities of implementing the control. In regulatory compliance, consider the ensure the chosen strategy aligns with relevant laws. In risk treatment plan, develop a detailed plan to manage the risk. So these are the 7 selecting a risk control strategies: risk assessment, cost benefit analysis, risk appetite, control effectiveness, feasibility, regulatory compliance, and risk treatment plans. Let's take the example of a potential data breach. The risk here is the risk here is that an external cyber attack could lead to the theft of sensitive customer data. In this case, the organization might choose a combination of strategies. Mitigate by implementing the strong encryption and multi-factor authentication. Transfer by purchasing cyber insurance to cover the financial impact if the breach happens. Another example is the risk of natural disaster damaging a data center. Here, a company could avoid the risk by moving critical infrastructure to the cloud, mitigate the risk by using backup systems and disaster recovery processes to ensure business continuity in case of a disaster. In this case of an insider threat, such as an employee unintentionally or intentionally compromising data, the company might mitigate by implementing data access controls and providing regular security awareness training, accept certain low-level risks such as minor breaches of data access policies that don't cause major harm to the organization. In conclusion, managing risks or effectively is critical to protecting an organization information assets. Choosing the right strategy, whether it's avoidance, mitigation, transfer, or acceptance, depends on factors such as the organization's risk tolerance, control, effectiveness, and cost consideration. These keys is to make sure your strategy aligns with the organization objectives and regulatory requirements. With this, we concluded this session. Thank you.